Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. Absolutely brilliant day. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Chelsea have embarrassed myself. Chelsea have embarrassed their fans. Chelsea have gone downhill. Two competitions in the vein. Of course, two competitions in the vein. The FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, two competitions that Chelsea that usually go to finals have thrown away against Newcastle, who have reached the Carabao Cup final to face Liverpool, and against Brighton, that, as Matisse said yesterday, they took everything from them. They took the scouting, they took the players, they took the directors, they took everything from them just for Brighton to knock out Chelsea off of the FA Cup, of course. The news this morning as well about Liverpool is that they are planning an overhaul in the summer. We'll talk about that, with selling a lot of players in the attack. Imagine Arne Slot with better players up top. Imagine Arne Slot with more players up top. Imagine Arne Slot that worked with Diaz, Gakpo, Nunes, injured Jota, with better players. We'll talk about that as well. And last but not least, Real Madrid and Saliba. I haven't myself spoken about this news. And when I opened my Twitter yesterday and I opened my Twitter today, I see a lot of people making kind of peace with it. Even if AFTV are saying that we should prepare for the worst, can Real Madrid poach William Saliba from Arsenal, of course, and leave them behind? And how do Arsenal keep William Saliba? We'll talk about that. But listen, before we go on, let's hit that like button, guys. If you're watching this now, hit that like button. If you're watching this on the replay, let's have a chat in the comments and let me know what you guys think in the chat about everything that I say and everything that you hear on this video. But first, let's do the game that we always do. Let me know in the chat, where are you tuning in from? Listen, I woke up, I'm doing the show, I had my coffee, click the like button. Rory is here. Rory talks. Let me make you a mod, Rory. Let me make you a mod, Rory, because listen, there is a lot to talk about. There is a lot to unpack. People are making peace, Rory, with the Saliba to Arsenal news, which is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely nuts and ridiculous. And how do Arsenal keep William Saliba is the talk, of course. The talk is, how do Arsenal keep William Saliba? Hit that like button. Where are you tuning in from first? Let me know in the chat, where are you tuning in from? If you are from England, type the city. If you are from Africa, let me know. Namibia. It's the first time I see a Namibia person. Gerson, Namibia. Oh, I have like this history with Namibia when Egypt played Namibia, of course. Good morning, Luke. Of course, let me include Luke Ahmad, of course, to know that he's here. Big up everybody. Luke is from the UK, of course, north of Manchester in Bahrain. Big up the people from Bahrain, of course, the brothers from Bahrain. Newcastle, of course. Craig Lee, of course, from Nigeria, Leeds, India, the UK. Yes, yes, people, hit that like button. I'm on a group walk in Windsor. Yes, Nigeria, of course. Let me know in the chat. There's 100 people here. Hit that like button. Gray London, of course. Hello, Judge Mo. Yes, where are you tuning in from, people? Where are you tuning in from? Let me know in the chat. And let's start by actually speaking about where are the Chelsea fans, though? What happened to them? People are defending Maresca. And the reason why I put Jadon Sancho on the thumbnail, because there are people in the community, that the Chelsea community, that still defend Jadon Sancho. Matthew Lane, Kingston, Jamaica, Sarajevo, Bosnia. Sarajevo from Bosnia, of course. Eden Dzeko people, of course. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning. And the news that is, like, this is the tweet that I wanted to show. Did Manchester United scam us? Did Manchester United scam Chelsea for Jadon Sancho? That is the talk. That is what we want to talk about. Is Jadon Sancho not good enough for Chelsea? And the reason why I wanted to mention Jadon Sancho, because you guys know that I have an agenda against Jadon Sancho. You guys know that there is an agenda against Jadon Sancho. It is not an agenda. Here is the deal with Jadon Sancho. The guy, let's go a little bit about the history of Jadon Sancho. A youngster from Manchester, him, Brahim Diaz, and Foden. And there was a choice between the three, who's to stay and who should they sell or loan out. And the decision was made by keeping Phil Foden and loaning or selling Jadon Sancho to Dortmund and loaning Brahim Diaz at that time to Real Madrid, who went to Milan and then back to Real Madrid, blah, 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 and all this talk that you guys know. Jadon Sancho thrives at Dortmund. Jadon Sancho absolutely balled at Dortmund. And I was one of the biggest fans. I was absolutely one of the biggest fans of Jadon Sancho. And then Man United move came through. And Man United, he went to Manchester United under Oli. And then Oli was sacked under Ralf Rangnick. And then there was the Ten Hag thing. And then there was the Ten Hag saga. Sancho wanted to leave, yes, because the decision was made to keep Foden because he was the only one that would have a chance in the first team, if I'm not mistaken, German Chicken Wing. He was the only one that was given a chance in the first team. Jadon Sancho wanted game time, so he had to go. Brahim Diaz the same, if I'm not mistaken. That was the news at that time. The thing about Jadon Sancho is that when he went to the Premier League, he still had these flicks and tricks, though. The problem with Jadon Sancho is that he's someone on the eye looks so good. On the eye, Jadon Sancho is one of these players that looks so good. Jadon Sancho is one of these guys that can dribble, can take on his man, as people say, can dribble, looks good, first touch is immense, blah, 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 looks good. It's a swagger about him playing football and all this stuff. But the problem is there was no output. And when you are being sold for 70 million pounds, there are certain expectations from you. There are certain expectations. You have to live up to the hype. And he went to Man United, where Man United were shambles at that time. Man United were not in a good place. Oli, they said that, yeah, he's going to go to Oli. Oli is going to get him to play the same as Dortmund and blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, Chelsea takes Jadon Sancho. Sancho goes to Chelsea. And people said, yes, Bowlers FC, Palmer, Sancho, Enzo Fernandez, Nkunku, Joao Felix, And it was Bowlers FC. And the problem with Bowlers FC, is that they need to be Bowlers FC with delivering, with you playing good football and delivering an assist or a goal or create chances or do this. It is not only about taking on your man. It's not only about, as Denzel here say, about the flicks and tricks. It is not only about that. It's very good to have flicks and tricks. Eden Hazard had flicks and tricks, but he delivered on big stages, on big moments. Eden Hazard delivered. Flicks and tricks is great. Flicks and tricks football club is great, right? But you have to deliver. You have to be the next level. You have to score goals. You have to have assists. And that is what Jadon Sancho lacked lately. He lacked that lately. 11 games with 1 assist. It's not good enough for Chelsea Football Club. It's not good enough. The problem happens, and that is why in the beginning of the season he was having an assist, because the forward was delivering. Cole Palmer was delivering. Enzo Maresca, on the other hand, is not helping Jadon Sancho perform. Jadon Sancho is not being helped. We have to admit, that he wasn't helped by Enzo Maresca. He wasn't someone that was helped. Exactly as Tyler says, guys. Get to 100 likes. Let's get to 100 likes. We have over 160 people here. And also, I am 10 subscribers away from 29,400. So if you're new here, subscribe. Also, like the video, share it on your socials. Of course, share it on your socials, of course, so we can get more viewers. So we can get to 29,400. We're on the road to 30K. Listen, we're doing these shows with you guys. It's me and you, and I want you to get involved in the chat. The problem with Chelsea is that they spent a lot of money, but they hired an inexperienced manager. Cole Palmer went backwards. And he's the catalyst of Chelsea. And I believe that if Cole Palmer goes backwards, I think Chelsea goes backwards. And the problem with this is that I don't want Chelsea to be Cole Palmer FC. I'm not here asking for Cole Palmer to be the only guy that score goals and assists, but Cole Palmer is your guy. You got to go to him. Yesterday, I saw Caicedo looking at Cole Palmer. I saw Malo Gusto looking at Cole Palmer eye to eye and refusing to pass him the ball, refusing to give him the ball to work, even though he wasn't good, but get him on the ball more. That is the whole point of having someone like Cole Palmer. You know, when you have a Salah, give him the ball. Odegaard, even though a lot of people say that Odegaard is not as good, Odegaard is not amazing, but when you see Odegaard in front of you, I see Rice, I see Saka, I see Martinelli, I see Thomas Partey. When Odegaard drops, when Odegaard is there and there is a passing lane, you give the ball to Odegaard and let him work. That is Cole Palmer for Chelsea. You need to go get Cole Palmer on the ball more often as well, because they bypass Palmer. And I'm not sure if that is an instructions from Maresca or that is the Chelsea players, because they don't want to be Palmer FC. You know that word? I hate that. Chelsea can be Palmer FC. Who cares if you're winning games? Who cares if you're Palmer FC and you're winning games? It doesn't matter. Liverpool, if you're Salah FC, who cares if you are Salah FC as long as you're winning? There are a lot of players. Isak for Newcastle, as Craig knows. If Isak is wide open, you give him the ball. Let him work. You have to absolutely get your best players on the ball more often. And that is on the manager. Jadon Sancho. It's going back to Jadon Sancho. The problem with this is I believe this has to work. Chelsea spent money. And spent money on a lot of players. On Caicedo, on Enzo, on Overhaul. They spent money on Jackson, on Palmer. They got Jadon Sancho. And it has to work. There is no other way around it. Are Chelsea going to be able to do another rebuild? People yesterday talking about Chelsea needing to spend a lot of money. People yesterday talking about Chelsea needing new wingers and a new forward. And they need to reinforce the midfield. They need a new goalkeeper. They need an experienced center back. After all this money, you still need to spend more money. I was fooled in the beginning of the season, as I mentioned yesterday. I was fooled by Chelsea. I was fooled by Enzo Maresca. Oh, Enzo Maresca is going to have a good season. Enzo Maresca is going to have a good season. He's going to take these guys, title race, 2 points behind Liverpool, and blah, 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 blah. That is not good enough. It's not good enough. The problem with Chelsea model is that I said 2 years ago that I think that Chelsea model should fail for the good of football. However, they went and signed Neto. They got Sancho. They got Jackson. And we're now talking about Chelsea. We are now talking about Chelsea maybe not winning the Conference League and not winning and not getting to Champions League football. That is by itself is atrocious. It will be a disaster if Chelsea don't get Champions League football. I know that people say, but top 5 get Champions League. What if you don't make top 5? What if Newcastle and Man City take the 2 spots and you sit 6th? What if that happens? What if that happens? What if you sit 6th at the end of the season? That model of Chelsea, of signing a lot of players, I think the mistake they made is not getting an experienced manager. And I criticized this in the beginning of the season, but I was fooled after this. I was fooled after this. I said Chelsea will get top 4, and I believe that Chelsea will get top. I'm not sure. I changed my mind. I'm not sure at the current moment that Chelsea were guaranteed top 4. They looked like it. They looked like it. They looked like they're going to finish in the top 4, but now it's not guaranteed. What if Real Madrid or Barcelona go and do it? And it's maybe Italy and Spain. What if Inter, for example, reach a final or a semi-final and one of the Spanish teams win the Champions League? England are not guaranteed. Aston Villa might go out. Who knows if Arsenal will go out or not? It looks like they're down to their bones at the current moment, Arsenal. Who said that top 5 is guaranteed for them? It's not guaranteed. It is not guaranteed for them. What if Real Madrid go far? Barcelona go far? Atletico Madrid go far? And now England has only 4 spots. It will be a disaster. After being, and that is what people didn't understand yesterday. When I was talking about Chelsea not getting top 4, the problem is the conversation. There is a conversation today that Chelsea might not get top 4 after being second, after the good start of the season. That is the problem. I'm not ruling them out from getting top 4, but that is the conversation. We shouldn't be having this conversation. We must not have this conversation. It's including Europa and Conference League, maybe. But even top 5. Do you see here, if you're a Chelsea fan, yes or no, in the over 200 people here? Over 200 people here. I want you now. Excuse me. I want you now to tell me today, are Chelsea guaranteed Champions League football next season? Are Chelsea guaranteed Champions League football next season? You let me know. You let me know. Are you guaranteed top 4, top 5, top 4? No guarantees. In the beginning of the season, we were talking about Chelsea that they will be getting the Champions League next season. We were talking about Chelsea going to try to win a cup. Newcastle knock you out. Brighton knock you out. You're hoping. You know the difference between first season? It's confidence versus hope. Confidence versus hope. That is the talk. And you're loaning Disasi to Aston Villa, a direct competitor to the Champions League. a direct competitor to Champions League. South Africa people here. If you play like you played yesterday, as my man here is saying, they won't make top 6. You loaned Joao Felix to Milan, as Mustafa Muqarrab is saying, and he scored in his debut. Could have used Joao Felix yesterday. Could have used him. The model is weird. Chelsea model is so weird and strange. You get players, within 6 months you're loaning them out. You kept Nkunku because you couldn't sold them, because you asked for too much money. And by the way, the Nkunku thing for Chelsea, is the actual evidence that Chelsea must recoup their money for players. I remember Vega was spoken about. I thought that Vega would come in to start at left back. But here we are, Vega's loaned out. 6 months. It's flip for money. And that's why people are directors out. It's madness. As my man here is saying, it is madness. You get Vega, lonely man. You get Joao Felix, send him out. You get Nkunku, it doesn't work. But we have to recoup our money. We have to get our money back before we can sell Nkunku. Why? Is it about the money or is it about the football? Is it about the money or is it about the football? That is the question. You need to ask yourself. Saliba. Oh, send him to Crystal Palace. Oh, Saliba. Come help us, Saliba, in the next half of the season. Come help us, Saliba, in the next half of the season. It is about, I want everyone in the chat, and be honest. I want you to be honest. Is it about the money or it's football? Money, football. Why did they hire an inexperienced manager? Started good, and then now the lack of experience is showing. The lack of experience is showing. James Bond, I am in America as well, and I know exactly what you're talking about. These investment funds, it's all about recouping their money. They are running the football club like a business. And it doesn't work. Sometimes you'll have to take the hit. Sometimes you'll have to take the hit for the sake of the football long term. Long term. You'll have to take the hit. FSG, they didn't want to sell Nunes because they wanted their money back. It doesn't work like this. It's a business. You're running the football club only like the problem is only like a business. You're running the club like a business. You aren't running the club like you want to win. And that is long term. Win brings you money. You don't have a sponsor. You have to win to make money. They are running the club like Brighton. They get a player, performs well, they try to get more money for him. That works for Brighton. That's why Brighton are not targeting to win the Premier League or go back to the top. It doesn't work like this. You'll have to take the hit at some point. If a player doesn't work, take the hit. Oh my God, we have to sell these players and we have to make money back. It's stress business, capitalism, as James is saying. It's capitalism. And that in the long term, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. You will have to change the model for you to go back to the top. Oh, let's buy this player for 10 million, hoping that he will be 20 million within 2 years. What is this? Oh, let's get an inexperienced manager so he can play this player and play that player, and we can control him. Why is this? Why didn't they hire a manager that can take them to the next level? Why didn't they hire a big manager? Big name. Thomas Tuchel was there. Hansi Flick was there. There are big men. By the way, you like it or you don't like it, big names are there. By the way, Antonio Conte was there. Wallahi, Antonio Conte, at least for a season, he would have absolutely made men out of these players. You would have seen running You would have seen energy from Antonio Conte. You're hiring Enzo Maresca with no resume. We're here now, huh? You're here now. Enzo Maresca, you're here today because your directors chose the easy out. The easy out, which is Enzo Maresca. If you say Conte is a busted fish, it's up to you. But you know that Antonio Conte would have came to the club and at least would have made men out of these players. You would have had more energy. You'd have had more structure on the pitch. Your defense would be more tight. You know that, by the way. He would have maybe got the best out of Jackson. You know that, by the way. Yeah, maybe a player like Palmer would not have thrived, but maybe as well. Maybe he would have played two striker formation with Palmer and Jackson. Maybe he would have. That I disagree with this. I completely disagree with this. Chelsea went back to Mourinho and won a league title. When Mourinho was sacked in 2007, he went back in 2013 and he won a league title a year after. So no, I disagree with people that say don't go back to your ex. If Antonio Conte is taking Napoli to the next level, and you can tell me Serie A is easy, but he's playing against Inter, the best team in Italy, and he's top of the league. Don't go back to your ex. And by the way, when Antonio Conte joined Inter, he had Barella, he had young players. He had Bastonia's young player. He didn't have, Lautaro was young. By the way, you say all of this. Hakimi was young as well, by the way. Hakimi didn't get a chance at Real Madrid SE. The people that say he doesn't work with young players, Barella was young. Yeah, Lautaro was young. Hakimi was young. He has some young players, and I believe the likes of Caicedo will work, the likes of Enzo will work. Are you mad? Antonio Conte. I'm not saying he's a long-term solution, same as Tommy Tuchel. He's not a long-term solution, but he's someone who can get you from point A to point B and then figure it out later. Give Antonio Conte a 2-year contract. I believe, by the way, I believe Reece James is a good wing back. I believe Cucurella. By the way, this team is set for 3 at the back. Cucurella played as a left center back for Brighton. Cucurella can play as a wing back, can play as a left center back. He's more defensively sound in the back 3. Malo Gusto, right wing back. He would have switched Madueke to be a right wing back. Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia. These are players that are made probably for the back 3, for the 3-5-2 that he plays. But of course, you know why these owners couldn't get Antonio Conte? You know why? Because he would call them out after a year. Because he would have got them Champions League, and then he would call them out for the lack of investment in experienced player. Exactly, Jesse. Even Chilwell is a good left wing back. The team is made for that system. It's made. The problem with it is that they can't get a player, they can't get a coach that will challenge them. By the way, Reece James is a good right center back. They can't get a coach that will call them out in the future. De Zerbi was there. Hansi Flick was there. Conte was there. Get them. Guys, over 300 people here. Hit that like button. Let's get to 200 likes live. I'll challenge you to get to 200 likes live. I challenge you to get to 200 likes live. Yeah, hit that like button, people. Come on. More question the motive of players joining. No, I won't. Man, Amman, that's the problem. And that is the problem, Amman. That is the problem. That I believe that Chelsea, right, these owners are there to recoup their money. JC, Mo, it's a conspiracy theory about Conte. Yeah, who cares if he keeps Lukaku and he gets you 20 goals a season? Would you care? Let me ask you something, JC. Would you care if Antonio Conte stayed and he got Lukaku to score 20 goals? At least you will recoup some of the money. Would you care if Lukaku stayed and he scored 20 goals or 18 goals? It doesn't matter. As long as he gets in the best out of these players. It doesn't matter. Who cares about Lukaku? Who cares if Kanté stayed? Also, Kanté was sold already. So it didn't matter. Who cares if you keep this guy or that guy as long as you win games? It doesn't matter. You wouldn't, by the way, you wouldn't care about the interview. You wouldn't care about Lukaku kissing another badge. You wouldn't care about Lukaku asking to join another club as long as he's scoring goals. You get my point? Who cares? But the problem is they are ruining Chelsea Football Club as a whole. They are ruining Chelsea Football Club as a whole. As a whole, they are ruining the club. And the main, by the way, the evidence is in Nkunku. Why didn't they sell Nkunku for 40 million? Why did they ask for 60 million pounds? What has Nkunku offered? And what has Nkunku given to Chelsea for other clubs to come and pay 60 million pounds or 70 million pounds? What has Nkunku given on the pitch? What evidence do you have? Apart from one thing, we paid that much money, we want our money back. You know what the problem is, JC? They couldn't sell Nkunku for the price they want, so they kept him. And they loaned Felix, hoping that Felix will ball at Milan and they would get some of the money back for Felix. And that is the, you know what? The Felix situation is so complicated because the way it happened with Atletico Madrid, it was very simple. They were afraid of losing Gallagher on a free, so instead, they sold Gallagher for 50 million, got Felix on return for 40 million, got Felix on return. So by the way, even, I'm going to tell you, they're going to sell Felix on a loss, but they don't view it as a loss. They view it as a pure profit. Do you know why? Because they would have lost Gallagher on a free. So they sold him in the last year of his contract, got a Joao Felix, tied him to a 7-year deal contract, and now even if they sell him for 30 million, it is as is. They sold Gallagher for 30 million with 1 year left at his contract. People don't understand. Chelsea were forced to buy a player from Atletico. Otherwise, the Gallagher deal would have fallen out, would have not happened. You get my point? So basically, even if Joao Felix is sold on a loss, 30 million, it's not actually a loss. It's a profit. Because as of now, between Felix and Gallagher, it's a zero net profit. Zero. They sold someone, they got someone. So anything that they get from Felix on the books is pure profit. You get the point. You get what happened in this deal. They loaned him to Milan, hoping that he balls, hoping that he plays well. They're hoping that he plays good so they can sell him. Even for 30 million, they don't care because that is pure profit. You get my point? But that is what I'm explaining to you, JC. That Felix money is going to be if it's 10 million, it's pure profit. Because basically it's an exchange between Gallagher and Felix. That is the problem. And these owners are not looking to improve the football. If your coach is saying, I don't want that player, how are we sitting here after 6 months and we're saying that Joao Felix is being loaned to Milan? Why did you get him? It's all about the profit. It's all about the profit. No, it doesn't work that way more with the Gallagher and Felix in the wash. It works like this, I promise you this. It's just simple logic. Last year of the contract of Gallagher, you sold him for X amount of money. You got Felix for X amount of money. Now anything that you sell Felix for is pure profit. It's a financial institute. You know, it's an investment fund. Audits. No, Radwan, I think you misunderstood the point. I think you misunderstood the point. Because they sold Gallagher and they got Felix in return, and because they sold him, anything that they sell Felix for, they are not going to say this loan is just for Felix to play football because Maresca doesn't want him. So if he plays well at Milan and they sell him for 30 million, it's pure profit. You sold the player for 10 million to Club X. That Club X sold you a player back for 10 million. You are zero now. That's equal zero. This equals zero. Anything that you sell that player for is profit. But that's not the point. Abdul Ghani, I actually don't know who plays in the final of the Super Bowl. I'm in Egypt. I'm not watching the Super Bowl tonight, Abdul Ghani. I'm in Egypt now. There is no way you can get rid of Clear Lake, by the way. There is no way you can get rid of Clear Lake. They signed that they have to stay at Chelsea for 10 years. They have to stay at Chelsea for 10 years. They have to stay at the club for 10 years. So they can't sell the club. Here you go, David. Mark my words. Clip this shit. In 2 years, we will win the league and get to at least the final in the Champions League. In the meantime, we will get top 4 and a trophy. And all players 2 years older, relax, people. You're sure about this under this ownership? David, you are so sure about this under this ownership? How are you so sure, though? How are you so sure about this? Are you sure? Are you serious? Why? How? Based on what? See, the problem is, here is the problem with your statement. Here is the problem with your statement. Anyone can put statements out. Inter are going to win the Champions League within 2 years. What is your evidence? What is your evidence, David? That is the problem. Oh, Newcastle, Brighton will win the league in 2 years. Mark my word. What is my evidence? What signs have you seen? What signs have you seen from Chelsea that they will win the league in 2 years? What signs? What are your evidence? No evidence. Just pure hope. And just a statement, a clip this. Mo will be on 200,000 subs within a year. Clip this. It's anything. Anyone can say anything. Anyone can just sit here and say anything. What is your evidence? You have to have evidence. You have to have evidence. We top now, growth from last year, better manager than the last 3 players away from champions. You're not top. Top what? What are you talking about? You're getting back. You're going backwards. You're going backwards. Pochettino ended the season better. Enzo Maresca now, is he now better? You're top 4 now. Are you guaranteed top 4? Probably yes. It's not an agenda, my man. I'm going to actually tell you exactly the point about Sancho. It's not an agenda. But if you're, again, it's the same thing that we have for all other players. It's the same thing. If a player is being hyped out, I need him to play up to that level or even close. By the way, you are behind in the video. He's behind in the video. He's behind in the video. There is no agenda in that manner, as you say. I'm not picking on his mistakes, but he hasn't performed in the last 11 games. He hasn't performed in the last 11 games. Can we get to 200 likes, people? Hit the like button underneath your live chat. 40 million on Chelsea. 40 million. 40 minutes on Chelsea. There are other news I wanted to speak about. He hasn't performed in the last 4 years. Guys, 350 people here, 200 likes is the freaking minimum. Hit the like button. More focus on Inter. Don't worry about Chelsea anymore. Abramovich left. Sancho made the wrong transfer move when he was at Dortmund. Had he joined Liverpool instead of United, things have been different. I agree with you. Probably I agree with you. I wanted to touch on this a little bit. And the problem with it is, I'm going to tell you guys something. I wanted to touch on the Saliba situation. Let me just do something. Let me do something. This is crazy. It's actually crazy. If AFTV is starting to say, should Arsenal start looking for Saliba's replacement? This is so worrying. This is so worrying. I don't believe that Saliba wants to go. However, if Real Madrid comes calling, put 100 million or 100 million on a table, which is a world record for a defender, can Arsenal refuse? Also, let me ask you guys something. Honest truth. Honest truth. Honest truth. Honest truth. If Arsenal didn't sign a striker now, and Arsenal looking to get a Cisco in the summer transfer window, why should Saliba stay though? I genuinely thought about this yesterday. I want people to discuss this with me. No, this is the source. SE, the source is not AFTV, it's this source. RMC Sport. Also, the rumors are coming from Spain as well. AFTV is not the source. But by the way, the news are Arsenal are not going to sell. However, a world record bid might actually turn the club's head. I am just going to tell you something. Why should Saliba stay? And let me present you why I think Saliba might be thinking about leaving. Why Saliba might be thinking about leaving. If he sees Arsenal, let's say Arsenal comes second this season. Let's see Arsenal comes second this season. And they keep Mikel Arteta. And in the summer, Arsenal don't go and sign top-notch players and they go for a project player like Cisco. Saliba's going to think this club is still going processes. Why shouldn't he go? By the way, he's not English. He has no affiliation with Arsenal. You get my point. He's French. So him going to Real Madrid makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Don't be emotional. Don't be emotional. London is not the best place to live. Madrid is better. Spain is better. Right? Zubamendi is targeted by Real Madrid, as Ronald is saying. And that is the problem with me. You say, okay, I'm going to discuss this in a bit. If you can get Isak. But again, if you go and get, here is the thing. If you go and get Isak, Saliba might stay. Let me give you how it works. If Arsenal go and target Isak, Saliba might stay because he will say the club now is moving to the next level. The club is getting the superstars. Does that make sense? But if Saliba sold and he goes to Real Madrid, why would Isak go to a club that sold his best defender and one of his best players. You get my point here? It's a very complicated situation. Maybe you go get Eucharist. The problem is you need to get Isak and keep Saliba, not use Saliba's money to get Isak. You get my point, SC? You get my point? You need to get Isak or Eucharist or Osimhen and keep William Saliba, not use Saliba's money. It's like I sold my best player to get another player. You get my point? Saliba should stay and you go and get Isak. But it's not about the business, Soraida. It is not about the business now. Arsenal, it is not now about the business. It's about winning the trophies. It's about winning the trophies. Why wouldn't Isak care? If Newcastle get Champions League football, he plays Champions League with Newcastle. He's adored up north. He's adored, and Newcastle can offer him big wages as well. Arsenal will offer him wages. Newcastle can match that wages. They have Gordon. If Newcastle keep all their players and go and sign a good winger on the right side, maybe Isak will stay. Why? An elite player like Isak will look at us and say, you sold Saliba and you want to get me? Yeah, but how much money do you think? Maybe you can lure him with the money then. Maybe you can convince Newcastle to sell him because of the money. Maybe. Exactly, but they should have bought a striker last summer if they wanted a trophy. Here is the problem. One of the main reasons we protected our spend in January is because we know we have a big contracts to offer Saliba, Saka in the close future. But Rory, very simple, Rory. What if Real Madrid come and put a massive bid for Saliba, and Saliba says that I'm going to go to Real Madrid, and Arsenal target a Cisco, not an established striker. Cisco is not an established striker. I consider Cisco a project player, a player that will come in and have to prove himself, Rory. You get my point? So Saliba might say, why don't I go to the best club in the world with Mbappe, with Vinny, with Bellingham, with Valverde, with Rudiger? What if Saliba wants to go? Kevin, you say no. What if Saliba wants to go? Why are people so sure that Saliba wants to stay at Arsenal? I know that he kissed the badge and everything, but Real Madrid come calling. If Real Madrid come calling, and that goes for any player, your head is turned. Your head is turned. If they bid £100 million for Saliba, and I want to ask everybody in the chat, I'm not sure. Pete Evan, I never said I am sure that he wants to go. I never said. But logically speaking, if Real Madrid come calling, they give him a high wage, he goes to Real Madrid, be part of the Galacticos. What is the most logical scenario here, Tevin? You tell me. What? If they can't afford Saliba, it's done. Exactly, Rory. But hear me out, Rory. The Footy Judge Mo, I discuss the rumor and I talk about that. So the rumor today, the rumor yesterday, is that Real Madrid wants Saliba, not want Konate. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So the rumor is they want Saliba. If they target Konate, we'll talk about it, Rory. But we're here talking about, what's the point of me talking about Konate to Real Madrid if there is no rumor whatsoever that Real Madrid want Konate? You get my point, Rory? I think it's very logical, rational. You get my point? So the problem for me to think about this, I promise you that I think if Arsenal go in the summer and spend big and show Saliba that we are serious the year after, we're serious now, we learned from our mistakes. We're going to sign a top striker. We're going to sign this guy. We're going to get Zubamendi. We're going to get a top striker. We're going to get a backup for Saka. Now Saliba is going to say, this club is serious. This club is serious. I'm going to stay here because this project is going to win the league or win the Champions League. I get it, but whenever Arsenal aren't playing or in international break, Saliba to Madrid is a rumor again. Well, that is our job, Rory. You're a TikToker. You're an influencer as well. So that is your job as well to talk about these things. Is that correct? Is that correct, Rory? That is our job. I'm sitting here and that is my job, Rory. Guys, almost 400 people in the chat. Let's get to 200 likes. AMD, show me the bag and they can have him, no problem. You are all right with him going to Real Madrid, your best defender. You're all right with him leaving. Isn't it crazy though? Isn't it crazy? Why? AMD, why? Why are you okay with him leaving? Doesn't that show the lack of ambition at the club? Doesn't that show the lack of ambition at the club? Oh my God. Here is the difference. It's not that he wants to go. Here is the difference. I never said that he wants to go. All I said is that if Arsenal are not serious, by the way, people act high and mighty. I don't want a player that doesn't want to stay at my club. I don't want this guy. If he doesn't want to stay, well, he wants to stay. He's between decisions, it's called. It is called a player between decisions. Is his head turned by Real Madrid? Maybe. Does he want to stay on Arsenal? Yes. Yes. But it's on Arsenal. And I'm going to ask you a question. I want to ask Rory this. Rory and Tevin and Suraida and all the Arsenal fans in the chat. You guys don't think that the club has a duty? If Saliba is thinking about leaving, isn't the club's duty to convince Saliba that stay here, we will win trophies? Why is the player must be wanting 100% to be committed to the project? A lot of clubs, by the way, convince players to stay. A lot of clubs, even Cristiano Ronaldo, by the way, and that is documented, by the way, that when he said that he wanted a new chapter, Florentino Perez and Real Madrid hierarchy, right? He said that. Tried to convince him to stay. When you have the best players, and I believe that Saliba is one of the best defenders in the world, it is on Arsenal. If a club like Real Madrid, who are bigger than Arsenal, the biggest club in the world, come calling, it is the club's duty to try to convince Saliba with money, with a project, with ambition to stay. I think you guys got this wrong. When Ronaldo wanted to leave Real Madrid, they tried to convince, Ronaldo said, Florentino sat with me and tried to convince me to stay. Because that's what you do when you have the best players, as Rory said. Rory, you said that, Rory. What is your comment? We can't sell him. There is not even a like-for-like replacement for his level for us to go and spend the money on. So it's on Arsenal to convince him to stay. That is my point. That is my point. It is on Arsenal to convince him. And the conversation here is that how do Arsenal convince Saliba to stay at the club? It's by telling him the project more. It's the same for players. Players are between clubs. Player is at Bournemouth. Player is at Brighton. You need to convince the player. I'm sure the club will try to convince him. That is my point, though. But how, Kevin? How do you convince the player? How do you convince the player? By actually signing top players, by enforcing the squad, by reinforcing the squad, by signing big players, by convincing that guy that we're going to win trophies. There are other clubs that convince players with money. But will Arsenal play their wage? If Saliba's offered 250 and 300k at Real Madrid, can Arsenal match that? Maybe not. Maybe not. So the other way around is to convince the guy, he's 23, that we're signing big players. The good thing is that only 23, there is no rush for him right now. But again, Rory, I get your point. There are many factors. But if he's 23 and Real Madrid come and give him 300k a week, Arsenal need to have different weapons to convince the guy, different ways to convince the guy. Saliba might be not only looking for the massive contract today, he might be looking for something. And I believe actually Real Madrid doesn't offer these big contracts if they're going to pay money. I believe, from my understanding, is Real Madrid, they don't offer big money for players that they have to pay big fees for. They only offer the big wages for the free agents. Like Alaba, like Rudiger, like Mbappe. That's what they offer, the big contracts. That's why they're going to offer Trent a big contract. Why? Because he's a free agent. But if I'm not mistaken, Madrid don't offer big wages. Good morning, Dakai. How are you doing, my man? But his contract runs down in 2 years, Nia. They're not gonna do this. His contract run out in 2 years, so they won't wait. You are not gonna offer Saliba 350k. Stop deluding yourself. Arsenal are not gonna offer him 350k. Do not delude yourself. Now, maybe he's an exception then. Maybe he's an exception. Also, his fee was not that big. Havertz in 285k, if I'm not mistaken. Do you guys believe, genuinely, yes or no, that Saliba is worth 300k a week? And let me ask you guys something for real. Do you guys believe that Saliba is worth 300k a week as much as the Van Dijk new contract, rumored new contract? Do you guys believe he's worth 300k? 300k, yes or no? Is he worth 300k a week? Wow. All right. 300k a week for a defender. Isn't that going to be one of the highest ever defender paid in the Premier League? The 100, isn't that the highest paid ever defender in the Premier League? Who gets paid more than 300k? Nobody. Maguire? No, not Maguire. But I promise you, wallahi, I'm not sitting here talking about the money at all. I'm not sitting here talking about the money at all. I don't think that Arsenal should convince Saliba with the money. I don't think that Arsenal should convince Saliba with the money. My personal opinion is Saliba is 23. He will be convinced with the project, the signings. How do Arsenal tell the guy that we're winning trophies? But I think the number one thing is that Arsenal must sign top players. Guys, I got to ask you guys something, to be honest. I got to ask you guys something. We are 2 subscribers away from 29,400. 2 subscribers away. 2 subscribers away. And Stephen, that is the problem. Rory can tell you in the chat. Rory, can you tell them who are Arsenal targeting in the summer? Can you tell them who are Arsenal targeting in the summer? Guys, 2 subscribers away from 29,400. Can we, if Rory's still here, tell them who are Arsenal targeting in the summer as a player? And is that player Is that player the guy, the Arsenal, Zubamendi, Sesko, elite left wing, Juan Garcia? Who's the elite left winger, Rory? I can send you the link, Rory, if you're at home, to be honest. Let's have a chat. Let me know, Rory. Text me if you want the link. Let's have a chat. If you want the link, text me. Who's the elite left winger? Who's the elite left winger? Nico Williams? Are you going to get Nico Williams? One down. Nico Williams. Thank you, Aida. Let's go. Let's go. 2 subs away. Here we go. We are there. Cancha Williams. You think you're going to get Nico Williams and Cisco in the summer. All right. So Nico Williams. I believe Nico Williams is great. So Raida. Oh, I didn't check the pictures for Raida. Great. Semenyo. Guys, we are there. 29,400 and something sub. Great. Lokman. I believe, to be honest with you, I want to see Semenyo at Arsenal at left wing. I want to see Semenyo at Arsenal at left wing. I want to see Gyökeres. I want to see Saka on the right side. Nwaneri as the bench player. So here is what I want to see at Arsenal. I want to see Saka, Gyökeres, Semenyo on the left side. By the way, that is a super duper physical front line, by the way. Super physical front line. Odegaard, Rice, Zubamendi. What a fucking team. Yes. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Imagine that. Saliba, Gabriel, Timba, Lewis Kelly or Calafiori, Zubamendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres, Semenyo. That is a team. I can't lie. That is a good team. I can't lie. That is a super duper good team. I can't lie. Think about Arsenal don't need Mbeumo. However, I believe that Arsenal still need an attacking midfielder. But that attacking midfielder need to be of the ilk of Gibbs White. I will be there for Gibbs White. I will be there for Gibbs White behind Odegaard. Like we need Shirky, maybe Ryan Shirky. Like you need someone that is different from Odegaard. Odegaard, Nipan will come in also. He will be the deputy for Odegaard then. That is young though. You need that. You need that. Odegaard. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Problem is Mo, Cisco and Williams are also very young. And that is the problem. It's a massive problem, actually. It's a massive problem. That's why I need Arsenal to sign established players like Gyökeres and Osimhen, Semenyo as well. Nico Williams is good, but I like Semenyo more, to be honest. Based on what I'm seeing, I like Semenyo more. But listen, the last part, guys, 30 likes away to 200. So hit that like button. Yeah, I didn't. Nobody did, and I didn't. I don't know even the guy at all. I don't know the guy, to be honest with you. 20, you're right. I don't know the guy at all. I don't know the guy. Garnacho to Arsenal. Are you crazy, bro? Are you crazy? Guys, let's get to 200 likes. Modi ain't in the plan. Who's not in the plan? Well, listen, the last part, we spoke enough about Arsenal. Fabian Ruiz is great. Fabian Ruiz is a fantastic shout. Isn't he old? How old is Fabian Ruiz? Fabian Ruiz is old. He's 28. You already signed 28. You already signed Moreno at 28. No, he's 28, so he's too old. Because you already have Moreno. So you need to sign someone like 25, 26. I think, anyway, the last part I wanted to touch on before going is this. The last part. If Liverpool do this, Luis Diaz, if Liverpool do an overhaul up top, if Liverpool do an overhaul up top, I think we'll see Liverpool go to the next level even. I think Liverpool can dominate, in my opinion. I think Liverpool can dominate, in my opinion. I genuinely think that Liverpool can actually be the next level as well. Next level, you know? In my opinion, like this is absolutely crazy. If Liverpool sell these three and buy 3 forwards, that would be crazy. Salah stays, Gakpo stays, they sign 3 players. We're talking different levels. We're talking different levels. We're talking because they already revamped the midfield. They're gonna, if they sell these players and get 3 players and sign a midfielder and sign a center back, Liverpool are going levels. I believe they're gonna dominate, in my opinion. They're gonna dominate. Why not? Why do people say no? Like Salah is there. If they go and get a striker, they go get an elite left winger, they go get another forward. If they sell 3 and buy 3, and they get a midfielder and they get a center back, they're set. Maybe Robertson is out, they get a left back. By the way, they can do a rebuild. If they sell these 3, they can do a rebuild. Dominate means they win the league this season. They win the league next season. They go far in the Champions League this year or next year. They win it this year or next year. That is called dominating. And then the year after, they go for the title. Let me explain to you what dominate. Dominate means within 4 years, you win 3 Premier Leagues. That is called domination. By the way, domination means you win 3 out of 4. In any league, that's called domination. That's why Man City dominated this era. That's why Man City dominated this era. They won 6 out of 7 or 8. You don't believe that Liverpool, if they replace Nunes, let's say Liverpool replace Nunes with Gyökeres, because Arsenal are not buying him. They go and get a left winger. They go and get Mbeumo. So they get Mbeumo, a striker, and another player. You go get a midfielder. I don't know who you're gonna get, Hazem. I don't know who you're gonna get, but I'm sensing Liverpool selling Nunes and getting another striker. I believe. And Mbeumo will be a replacement for Salah. He can play up top. He can be a false 9. Mbeumo is the versatile player. I believe Arsenal will get a number 9. because Gakpo is going to play on the left wing. There is Chiesa. If he stays at Liverpool, he will be the deputy for Gakpo maybe. But they're going to go and get a center forward. If they sell 3, they're going to get 3. If they're going to get 3, they're going to sign 3. Imagine if Liverpool go for Isak. Imagine. Again, that's not me. It's literally in front of you from Sam Maguire, a journalist. I am here reporting on it. I am not giving you the news. Mo is not the source. Why do people are thick? You, bro, it's thick. You don't understand. I am not the source. I am not the source, broski. Not Mo. Mo is not the source. Mo only report on news. I only report on the news. That is me. It's ridiculous, bro. Why are you saying that I'm not the source, broski? I'm not the source. Anyway, all 3 could leave. Jota has 1 year left. The extended. Nunes is going and Diaz is 28. So they can sell him for easy. Easy. Anyway, let's get to 200 likes. Get the likes up, people. Get the likes to 200. 20 likes away. But listen, more than an hour, 12 minutes is good enough for me today. We'll see if we can do a show tomorrow with the guys. Talk about Saliba or talk about Chelsea with Dan. We'll see how it goes. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And we reached 29. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you're new, subscribe. Turn on, by the way, I want to ask you guys something. People need to turn on the notification bell. Turn on the notification bell to see. We'll do the tactical again. I hit the like button. Who should? There's no one to redirect to. Who's there to redirect to? Can you guys tell me who's there to redirect to? There's no one. Anyway, big up everybody that is here. Like the video before you go. Let's get to 200 likes. 20 likes away. And we're out of here, people. I'm out. Halas.